What's up, guys? It's Lord Saint, and today we're back with a potting video. I have tons of plants. You're going to see a slew of videos coming in the next couple of weeks in reference to big chops. Normally you'll see it's just completely bronze, and then it'll harden back off to the green that you can see in the rest of the plant here. So we go from this bronze with a pink back, the bronze front, and that's probably where this pink veining is coming from. It's probably just a deep pink color from the back, and then we'll get it to this green, very vibrant green color that we have that the leaf hardens off to. I don't know of the size of this plant. Normally I'm able to tell you guys, this is what I've been able to grow this to. This is a newer plant for me. I've kind of weaned off my Philodendron collection. If you've been following me via other social media for a while, I was huge on the Philodendron, and then I just caught the anthurium bug, and it's been all anthurium for the past few months, really. I did find this at a show, and it was very inexpensive. This is a plant you can get. I bought it for 10 bucks. I wouldn't be surprised if you get it for 10, 20, definitely under $30 at this point. So this is a nice one, indoor, outdoor as well. Both the parents are strong, so this isn't going to be a diva of a plant. Should do fine in ambient conditions indoor. Obviously, as we know with Philodendron, we do not want to burn the leaves. This cannot take, well, at least down here in South Florida, which is where I am, this can't take the direct sunlight. We're filling this horizontal pot with some chunky mix, and if you're curious about what mix I'm using, you can watch a previous video that I have on my channel. It's my aeroid mix. It's very airy, very chunky, and I do that because my collection, a vast majority of my collection, sits outdoors in my shade house, and whenever it rains, it gets water, as all I have on the top of my shade house is shade fabric. So whenever it rains, these plants get water, and I rather them be super well draining and need more water than not well draining enough and experience root rot, which is a huge problem I had a year or so back when I just built my shade house. I had to repot my plants in their entirety. Everything outside pretty much went into this chunky mix that I have listed on my channel. So take a look at that video, see what my mix looks like. So here we have this. You just want to make sure that what I've learned with these crawling plants now, and the big question is, does this plant crawl? Does it climb? It seems to mimic the gloriosum a lot, and I know the gloriosum crawls. If you can get it to climb, that's dope, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it resembles most the gloriosum. It looks like it has a rhizome that it's trying to crawl, so I'm going to treat it as a crawler. And just one key thing is don't bury the rhizome in its entirety. You can experience root rot via that method. So what I tend to do is give it a halfway point, keep the rhizome somewhat exposed so I can see at least a bit of the rhizome. Even if it's just the top portion, I can see that, and then the plant will continue to crawl, and it'll continue to drop roots from that new growth point as it crawls to the edge of this pot, and then it'll demand a bigger home from me. So we're just going to fill this. Now this is small enough. If you watch a few of my other videos, you'll see that I tend to do a cutoff point and only use the area that's needed. So in this instance, I would just fill my potting mix to halfway point of this pot, and then I'd put some type of material to clog up the rest, just to, the reasoning really is that when I was using longer pots, I would fill it and I'd have so much potting mix unused for such a long time, and then I'd find tons of animals just living inside it because there's no movement, there's no action going in here, and sometimes it would retain too much water for too long or things of that nature. So I rather just fill it as the plant needs, which is a trend. Now this is a smaller pot, so I don't mind it. It's probably gonna take over this pot fairly quick. So what we'll do is we'll just continue to fill this. with my soilless mix. All right, let's see what we have here. And we'll just fill around it. And the rhizome is still exposed. The top there. I'll try to lean it more upright. But yeah, there we go. And this is why it's easier coming from a smaller pot, and this is why I kept the roots bound together, or somewhat bound together. They weren't extremely root bound, but they'll start to navigate on their own. But this plant is upright. Normally I would need some type of bamboo stick or a rod to hold the plant upright until the roots become established, and then it can hold itself up. But in this, it's the equivalent to me just dropping this pot that it was in straight down in, and it acts as an anchor. So this is what we have here. And then, as with a majority of the plants that I have, outside, inside, not only do I use a liquid fertilizer, but I use Osmocote. Now, it's important to note, now this may say 6 months, but down here in South Florida, it depends on your region really. With so much heat and rain, sometimes it won't last. You can bet on it not lasting 6 months. I learned from a friend, you know what, just subtract 2 from that, or half the time due to the climate we're in. So we can say this is going to last at about 4 months, but this is just a supplement as I do get busy with life. At least I know it's getting slow release fertilizer, and I do supplement with liquid fertilizer. So the plant gets a double whammy, but it is diluted liquid fertilizer. So that's what we have there. And it's that simple, repotting these. And you can see there's that beautiful emergent new leaf with that bronze color with the pink back. And it's that simple. That's what we have here. It really takes no time at all. Don't stress about it. Just remember, you want to keep the rhizome somewhat exposed to the top. As the plant normally crawls, it crawls all along the top of any soil that you're going to provide it. You don't want to bury it and then new emergent leaves experience rot because the soil is just too moist, or things of that nature. So halfway, or keep it somewhat exposed, and you're good to go on that. And that's all we have for the summer glory. If you don't have one, if you've seen me say in my series, I feel like I'm a used car salesman. If you don't have one, go out and get it. But yeah, this is a fun one. It's simple, easy, it's beautiful, and it's not gonna hurt your pockets, but it's not gonna give you a hard time. So this is a good beginner one. You don't hear it too common because it's such a specific plant, but this is a good beginner crawling philodendron with a low price point. Thank you guys for joining me with another video. I'm going to continue the evening. It's like 4 o'clock here. I'm going to continue the late afternoon with some major chops. I have neon pothos you've recently seen me feature that has reached the top of my shade house. So it's at the 8-foot mark on a pole, and it's beginning to fenestrate. And fortunately, but unfortunately, I need to now chop it and take that top cutting into a new host, or put that top cutting onto a new host. So I will be recording that so you guys can kind of see what that looks like on a wood pole. No moss pole, just wood pole. What that process looks like. And that's fairly simple as well, but it's good for us to learn from each other, and maybe you guys can help me out if you notice anything with any tips. Again, thank you for joining me. It's Lord Saint. I'll see you on the next one. If you've enjoyed this video, or you're new to the channel, or you're just enjoying this channel in general, feel free to subscribe, share the content, like, comment down below with anything that you see. I love the engagement and the interactions, so keep them coming. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.